Well.
Hey, everybody.
How you doing? I can't recall if I was going to start this with saying that, or if I say my other somewhat famous greeting, but it's only reserved for certain people. I was going to try that.
We have a
But I'm
delight.
going to wait. Anywho, my name is Meryl, and I'm here with my friend Maria.
Hi, guys.
And this is the Bold Women Podcast, by the way. And we have a special guest.
Which we were surprised by.
We were quite surprised, but here we are with Byron Dice.
What up, peeps? What up?
He's here.
What up, my bold women? Where my limbs at? You know what I'm saying?
We out here.
We out here, though. Sheesh. We out here on social media, so check us on that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Follow us, all the things. That's all I'm going to say about that.
YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts,
Insta.
leave comments, leave reviews,
Yeah.
Instagram.
All those things.
I like my women like I like my coffee. Bold.
There you go. Bold and full of flavor.
That's
Robust.
Smooth. And smooth. Yes.
That's smooth.
Yeah. You got a little hazelnut in there. Okay.
Well, if Byron is here, then that must mean we are doing
Something's
another Strange Stories.
Strange stories for the yeah. There probably should be.
This is part 6, guys.
This should probably be like a special intro. I should probably create one just for the Bible stories.
Ooh.
Okay, well, here on
Okay,
out.
challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted.
Yeah.
Strange stories time.
Get to it, Byron. Do some homework and see what's what. Today is slightly different. Normally we find like entire stories. Today is a little different.
Still strange, though.
Yes, still strange. I thought it would be fun to discuss strange creatures.
That it is.
We've got a lot of them.
We
you
have,
know?
yeah.
When I started this, I was like, man, there's like weird animals, and most of the ones that I'm talking about, actually, I think all of them are deep sea creatures.
Ooh.
Of course.
Yeah, because nobody really wants to find out what's down there.
Well, sure.
Speaking of deep sea creatures, how do we feel about the little, is it the anglerfish that floated up to the surface?
Oh,
I don't think that's good news.
he doesn't need. Yeah, he needs to stay.
I
down
don't think
there.
that's good news at all.
And we'll get to it because there's an animal in here that
Did he die when he came to the surface?
I don't know, probably.
Or do we know what happened to him?
You said he floated.
Well, it swam.
He was found at much like he was found
Maybe he
much
was
closer to the
exploring
surface than they
normal.
are typically found. Yes.
Okay.
And it's like the first one ever seen.
At that depth.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
So something's
Maybe he's
going on.
exploring.
Something's going on down there.
Something's going on.
Yeah, the Mariana Trench is no joke. I mean, that's where all the animals were when the Earth flooded.
The what trench?
The Mariana Trench.
Yeah.
Nobody's been down that far.
How do we know that it's a trench? I mean, I'm assuming we know it's a
LiDAR
trench. Oh.
equipment.
Mm.
Yeah.
Maybe if we got another.
Plus, I saw it in Aquaman.
Oh, nice.
it's just so hard to explore that deep because
of the
there's
pressure.
no freaking light.
Yeah, no light. Pressure's too good. But, all those animals that, everything that was flooded on land died, but everything was in the ocean survived.
Okay, that was.
Yeah.
I have that question too because I was like, did
Those things
everything
been around since they've been around
a long
since
time?
they've
Because
been
like they wouldn't have died
Right.
unless
If you-
like the sea splitting crushed them. But I don't think it would have
No,
killed
they
a
would've-
whole species.
They would have been chilling, dude.
Yeah, they've just been
Look,
hanging
hey,
out.
this is our planet now.
right.
That's what they were thinking.
Yeah, they're like, woo.
They
It's
yeah.
water
became,
world.
They became Aquaman.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Because if you look at the scripture, it said everything on land.
Yeah.
true.
True.
Okay, so
So,
Or does
That
it say
is
every
just-
living creature? Because
this
would it be?
conversation is just gonna get good.
It's gonna
because
get good.
every living creature, but it was talking about land animals. They
Okay.
didn't
Yeah.
ask Noah to save any of the fish.
That's
right.
true.
He,
No
he didn't
fish
put an
came on.
aquarium on the ark.
yeah.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
Land
He's
animals.
like,
there's
no,
probably
those
two
in the
each.
water, they're gonna stay there because I got plans for them.
Yeah,
I'm
they were
sure.
chilling, dude.
I'm
That's true.
sure.
I've always thought that, but I didn't.
I don't
Well,
know.
let your thoughts wander no more.
Yes,
Because
we're gonna-
I
Make
yeah.
that solid in your brain now.
Yep.
Set.
The Leviathan, that's why it's mentioned in Job.
Okay, we're gonna get to
Okay,
him.
we're gonna get
It's
to
after
him.
the flood.
But first, I'm gonna talk more about like modern day stuff.
The angler.
No, I didn't bring him in
Okay,
because
okay.
I just thought,
That's fair.
you know, he's been in the news lately, and
Yeah, he's getting too much.
He's getting too
he's
much.
kinda
He's getting
overplayed.
too much. You know,
He's overplayed.
it's on TMZ. It's ridiculous.
He's the ugliest fish you've ever seen with a light hanging in front of his
Right.
face.
I also thought they were huge, but they're small.
No, they're very small. They're pretty small.
yeah.
They're small and scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd be terrified.
Yeah. They're just so deep sea
Awful.
creatures are just so interesting to me. They're so fascinating. Just the way, I mean, you really see God's creativity and, for lack of better terms, sense of humor,
That's true.
because I can't figure out why he would create some of these
Yeah.
Oh,
beings.
especially the one we're talking about next gives me the heebie.
Look at the
They're
octopus.
so disgusting. Okay, we'll just start. We'll just
Yeah.
get right into it.
Oh, I'm literally about to gag.
Yep. Hagfish. Yep.
This already
They-
sounds bad.
Yes.
Oh my
they-
gosh.
They look like giant worms. You showing me a picture?
Come on. Is
That's
that
its
AI?
mouth.
What is
yeah,
that?
Yeah. Ugh, it's
That's
got
its-
freaking teeth.
it's
It's
like- Is
got. Yeah, they don't have jaws, but their job is to consume carcasses of other sea
Sick.
creatures
Okay.
by burrowing into them with tooth-like structures.
Okay.
So there's about 76 different species that fall into this category.
Oh,
And I'll just give some information on
Hagfish.
siphonophores, which are in that family. So, and within the siphonophores, there's around 175 species of those living in the deep sea throughout all of the Earth's oceans, although not every species is found in each ocean. So some of them like to just be in certain areas. Many of them are long and string-like, but some, like the venomous Portuguese man-of-war, resemble jellyfish. Like, that
Stop.
is so
look
disgusting.
at this version of
Yeah,
it.
what is that? What is that even?
Like it's one of the
Dude,
breeds or like
I saw that on
types
King
of
Kong.
them.
That is like inspiration.
Did you see King Kong?
Those
No.
are inspiration.
Oh my
With
gosh,
Jack
this
Black?
is like nightmares.
Did
I
y'all see
can't look
that?
at this. It's literally
Did y'all see King
Don't
Kong with
keep
Jack
looking.
Black?
it's making me want to vomit,
Well,
and I'm getting.
Did y'all see that?
Uh-uh.
No,
You didn't?
no,
I gotta
not
clear
yet.
my search history
Dude,
because
that's
I cannot
old.
see that.
Anyway, they had those on there.
Well, what I find interesting though is that they have, like it said, the Portuguese man-of-war.
Yeah.
They kind of resemble jellyfish, but they're still in that same family. Which is
Weird.
interesting to me.
The Man of War.
Yeah. So a siphonophore may look like a single animal. It's actually a colony made up of individual organisms.
Oh,
called
sick. That's making me. Oh, gross.
Zooids.
Guys, this is
Zooids.
not a good day.
It's a great day, Maria.
This is. I'm not. Well, I'm cringing and my
Okay,
skin.
I kind of wish we
can-
hadn't started with this one.
I know we should have.
I'm
well,
trying
Or
to
maybe we can
Google
get it over with.
yeah, we're just getting over it. Okay.
The zooid.
Yeah. It
What's
replicates. I'll just kind of skip over some stuff just because I think if my sister was listening to this, she'd probably wreck her car if she was driving to work and having to
Really?
listen to this.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's just yucky. Look it up. all right?
Okay, this one I have. Okay, I've heard about these guys. This isn't as gross as what I was picturing in my head. The cluster, because they swim like in jellyfish form,
Okay.
so it's not as
They're kind of
gross.
translucent.
They look kind of like they can look like
Yeah.
jellyfish tentacles.
And they're
they
not
kinda
as
look
the
like-
hagfish were awful. Okay.
Well,
I mean, it's still not
They're in
great.
the same family. Those are like the
Oh,
same.
yeah, this zoomed in picture.
How big are they in diameter?
No, wait. Siphonophores are not in the same family. That's completely different. We've moved on. I didn't have much about the hagfish.
Look at this
Oh, are you
crazy
serious?
long.
Oh, okay. So we're talking about a different species.
Yeah,
Now
we're on
talking-
this-
Okay.
Sorry. I thought they were connected.
Wait,
because I
was
just
the
saw the word
hagfish the one you
example.
brought up with the big teeth?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Yeah,
sick.
That thing is disgusting.
What, are those? How big that diameter is that?
I think they
Or
vary
is that
in
like small
size.
wormy?
They vary in size.
Really?
Yeah, they can be big.
Ah, like latch onto your side
Yeah,
and start
sick,
burrowing in.
Byron.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay.
Okay, and the siphonophores,
There's a lot of those.
Yeah.
yeah, they are made up of a bunch of individual organisms called zooids, which each have a distinct function within the colony despite being genetically identical. Some catch prey and digest food, while others enable the colony to reproduce or swim.
It's crazy.
They can't survive on its own. Like each little, like they have to be together, which is weird. They
That'll
Little
preach.
community.
Yeah, because they specialize in one function, so they rely on each other to form a body.
Oh,
So-
Look at
Yeah.
this body of one. Look
It's
at how
almost
big
like
that spiral is.
it's almost like
so
It's
Voltron.
nuts.
They feed on a variety of small sea animals like plankton, fish, small crustaceans. Species that use toxins to capture prey have zooids that contain tiny but deadly tentacles containing an incapacitating
Wait a
toxin.
minute.
Okay, I've heard that. I've heard if you see one, because it's gonna.
Yeah, stay
They
away
said
from 'em.
stay away, like it'll kill you instantly. Like they look very like alluring, or like something's in the water.
They just look harmless.
Yeah.
Just like it's a piece of something just kind of
Yeah.
floating around.
Okay.
That's the whole.
the whole point.
Yeah.
I wonder if somebody could put that on
Zing.
like a tip of a spear.
Oh my gosh! Listen to this. In Western Australia, marine biologists captured one.
Okay.
Well, an example of a feeding, I guess. Ew. In 2020, 150-foot giant siphonophore in a doom spiral. Look, is it me?
Oh, okay. It was trapping stuff.
Traps unsuspecting
Are
prey.
we having a mentee bee?
A lot of them are
I am.
also bioluminescent and generate light via chemical reaction to
Crazy.
attract prey. So most of them glow green or blue. And
Oh,
there's one
nice.
species belonging to the genus Arena was the first marine invertebrate found to emit a red glow.
Oh.
Red bioluminescence is very rare because the short wavelengths of blue and green light travel longer distances in the sea, and they're more evolutionarily helpful to marine animals.
Can I just throw
guess.
something
All
out
right,
there?
you go.
Yeah.
I feel like us being like, ooh, talking about it glowing is prime example of why
As
they
a-
glow,
yeah.
glow to attract
Right.
prey.
Yeah.
Of what it does. Because we're
I'm
even.
coming right in for it.
Right. We know what it is, and we're still like,
Yeah, I'm
ooh,
like,
what's that?
Is there a rave party going? What's happening?
Okay, this next one, I will credit to my sister because she was reading a book
I'm
to
gonna-
my nephew, and she was like, "No."
How many sisters you have?
Her, I have 3 sisters.
Okay, so we need to name one.
This is my younger sister, Regan.
Okay, got it. Shout
So-
out.
Yeah. So
Oh my gosh.
she and her, she was reading this book to her son one
Oh,
night
yeah.
before bed, and they were talking about the Wabagong shark.
Okay.
And she was it was a series of texts, just one after the other, that was like,
Look at that. Okay.
this is so disgusting. I can't handle it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
and
this
it was
is
just
sick.
like, and Beckett is loving this, and oh my gosh, I don't know
look
what to
at the-
do. And
Dude,
Oh.
they've got some serious camo kicking.
yeah.
Right.
So they're bottom-dwelling sharks. They're actually sharks. They spend much
That's
of their
crazy.
time resting on the seafloor. Most species have a maximum length of 1.25 meters,
Oh.
and that's 4 feet for the Americans. But the largest, the spotted wabagong, Rectolobus
Yeah. Maculatus.
and
Okay,
banded
Harry
wabagong
Potter.
reach about,
Right.
they can reach about 3 meters or 9.8 feet in length.
Sheesh.
So, as you were saying, they're well camouflaged with
Okay.
a symmetrical pattern of bold markings, which resembles a carpet. Because of this striking pattern, wabagongs and their close relatives are often referred to as carpet sharks.
Wabagong.
That'll do it.
I know, it's kind of a
Wabagong.
funny name, though. I like saying
Oh,
it.
wabagong.
The camouflage is improved by the presence of small weed-like whisker lobes surrounding the wabagong's jaw, which help to camouflage and act as sensory barbs. That's so gross.
Yeah.
They make use of their camouflage to hide among rocks, catch smaller fish which swim too close. Typical ambush type of
Yeah,
hunting.
gotcha. Yeah, the one the picture you showed me looked like an old man.
Yeah, that
a
guy
beard.
looked like this one was like a powerful jaw with needle-like teeth that assist in catching reef fish and other sharks for food. There, okay, 5 random facts that are supposed to be fun facts about them.
Okay.
Their bites really hurt.
Oh, okay. I can see that.
And they don't typically, from what I was reading, they don't typically like go after humans, but if they're just like in proximity on accident because they're
Yeah.
not
And they
seeing
get
it.
startled.
Don't step
Yeah.
on it.
Yeah, exactly. That is typical.
Could it be in like shallow waters? Or are we talking deep here?
Um,
Like I'm not going to
deep?
step on one
No.
going in the ocean, right?
No, I
I
don't
would
think
assume
so.
it's deep.
All right.
They're
All
more
the pictures were
bottom
dark.
dwellers.
Just get off the shelf and
Yeah.
scuba gear, you might hit one.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
They can't see well, so they're
Oh.
nocturnal because of this. They
It's a
mostly
plus.
rely on the little sensory things on their mouths
Telling them
to,
that something's there.
to sense their
Mm.
environment. And then they can sort of walk. So when they
Oh.
move, they're using their pectoral and pelvic fins, and it looks like they're walking across the ocean floor. So if you look up video of that, it looks like they can walk.
I'm coming to get you.
I'm a
They've
wobble.
been
What is
seen,
it called?
so I guess
A
they can
wobbegong.
get to more of a shallow area because it says they
Ooh.
can do this
Oh.
from one tidal pool to the
Here we
next
go.
during low tide.
Low tide.
Yeah.
Oh.
A baby shark is called a pup.
Baby
cute.
shark.
Oh man.
She said it. I didn't.
Well, you sang it
Well, she said, I mean,
Well,
you
they're
have to
called
when she
pups.
says baby shark.
And they can have up to 20
in a
at a
litter.
time.
Wow.
They don't receive care from their mother, but they will sometimes stick around when they're young for safety.
Oh,
purposes.
sure.
So they just
I'm
literally
hanging
have
out.
them, and then you're on your own.
Yeah.
Welcome to this world.
I'm not
Yep.
leaving.
Figure it out.
Shoot.
Uh,
I wonder what makes a shark, though. Like, why did you put this fish in that category?
Hold on.
I think it's their jaws.
Let me
Is that
Google
it?
'em.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
The way that they are able to. Cause
So you got to
just-
have a specific
I think so.
thing about you to be a shark.
Sharks are per a Google search. Sharks are distinguished by their cartilaginous skeleton instead of bone, multiple gill slits, and unique skin covered in
Okay.
tiny tooth-like scales called dermal denticles, which are characteristics
So the
of
wobbegong has all that.
Yeah.
their skeleton, their gills, their denticles, their buoyancy. Other characteristics: sharks also have a short, partitioned intestine, and they retain high concentrations of urea and trimethylene oxide in their tissues.
Good.
What?
It's their skeleton.
So
basically.
a shark is not a fish. Am I correct?
Correct.
Okay.
Because
So we're completely different from fishes in the ocean.
they're their own type of fish.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Because they're
Their oily liver is
Not
their
a fish.
buoyancy control.
not a fish.
They're their own type of shark.
Yes.
And their pectoral fins give them a
Easy.
dynamic lifting force.
So the wobbegongs can swallow their prey whole. They can dislocate their jaws and it'll create a suction
Oh.
pressure to just bring
Sheesh.
fish in. They can eat prey that's bigger than themselves.
Wow.
Sheesh.
I wonder if there's a shark meeting, like, and they
Hi.
discuss the different.
My
You know, you got
name's
your
Bruce.
hammerhead, you got your
Yeah.
great white, and you got your
Hammerheads creep me
wobbegong.
out.
Are they like, those wobblegongs where they're hanging out at the bottom? You know, they get like throw
Right.
shade on them and stuff.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
Okay.
Oh,
I'm
you're
gonna
a great white. Whatever. Racist.
Oh my god.
Anyway.
I'm going to skip the next one just because it's kind of boring.
Okay.
I don't know. It looked weird. You can look it up. A Cape elephant fish.
Okay.
Kind of boring. They look like sharks, but they're not.
Do they have a thing, a snout?
The name of
They
the,
do, but it has like a strange hook, and it
Okay.
helps them. It helps
Makes
them
sense.
to
So it's
like dig
elephant.
around for their food.
This next one sounds
I gotcha.
interesting.
The giant oarfish. So when
Oh,
we're
Lord.
saying not good news, this is also known as a doomsday fish.
Oh,
Ooh.
okay.
They are long and slender / like ribbon-like bodies. They're usually like a metallic, like silver
dang.
color. And then they have a
Are you pulling
red,
it?
spiny dorsal fin.
What?
Yeah.
Why are they hanging out with one?
What?
You see that?
Yeah, that's not good.
What are y'all doing, bro?
Wait, does that caption say it's outside of California?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so listen to this.
Okay.
Listening.
They are deep sea fish, typically found between 660 to 3,300 feet or 200 to 1,000 meters
My God.
below the surface. So they're not supposed to be up there.
No.
They can grow up to 30 feet long. They're
Yikes.
the largest bony fish in the ocean that we know of. They will hang out like vertically in the water.
What?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
They can swim vertically, which is not typical of fish.
Yeah.
So they can swim vertically and like an eel
Both?
does. Yeah, they can do both.
Okay, I'm creeped out now.
No, well, listen to this.
Oh yeah, here's one straight up and down.
Let me see.
Yeah, they're so creepy looking.
What? Come on.
They got their name because of a legend that if you see an oarfish, it's a warning that a disaster like an earthquake will occur soon.
Whoa.
Before Japan's
Wait.
2011 earthquake, one of the most catastrophic in world history,
Yeah.
a total of 20 oarfish washed ashore before that happened.
Stop.
And then the tsunami.
Yeah. Then the earthquake and subsequent tsunami.
Boom. I just saw pictures of that the other day. It's funny we're talking about that. The
Yeah,
tsunami
so it
with
was
the wave
like,
coming
you see
over.
that with like it was like California or
Yeah, it was
Mexico
right
or
off of San
something.
Diego.
Okay. Here's the
Mhm.
question. Did
I'm gonna
people,
look at what year
did
that
people
was.
know about the prophetic fish before what we're discussing. Like, I feel like if I saw one, I'm heading to the mountains.
Yeah, I mean,
Did they see it and go, let's get out of here?
I don't.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that the fishermen
Obviously,
probably
it's
would have been
happened
like,
before.
"What in tarnation is
Yeah.
going on?"
Okay, this said it was like August of 24 was when it was spotted. Or published. The article was published then.
I
So
wonder
it
if there
hasn't
was-
even been a year.
I wonder if there was talk about, hey, the fish are on the shore. Let's get out of here.
And then you what else is also popping up on that search? The birthday of your twin flame. I have no idea why.
My twin?
I don't know, it's just stupid.
Maria's twin flame.
Oh, yours. I don't know
Don't
you had a
get-
twin.
No, that's stupid.
Oh.
It's a whole nother thing. We could do
Okay.
an episode about it.
What? Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm more
Anyways,
ironical.
Okay. So that's an interesting
that's
one.
very
So, yeah.
interesting.
I will do two more
Okay.
on here, and this one is of course, close out of it, Meryl. Good job. This one is the Halotrephes masi,
Ooh.
What? Where are
Jelly?
you going?
also known as the firework jelly.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Thanks, Clint's Reptiles on YouTube.
Let's reptile. Shout out.
That guy is incredibly enthusiastic about
Really?
this. Yeah,
Oh.
it's interesting. Anyway, they normally hang out in obscurity. They have been found in the very deep ocean where oxygen is minimal. So we're talking like 4,000 to 5,000 feet, or 1,200 to 1,500 meters below the surface of the coast of Baja California
Okay.
Peninsula, Mexico, which is where they were spotted.
Oh.
They yes, so they're normally just like you wouldn't see them, obviously being that far down,
Right.
and
They're kind of pretty.
they use bioluminescence when they come into
Okay.
contact with prey or predators.
All
So
right.
they
Whoa.
light up. So
Well,
they
look at
light
that.
up and look like a firework, pretty much.
When they eat stuff.
when they are either attacking their prey or they're trying to like ward off a predator.
Okay.
That's super cool.
Isn't
Right.
that wild?
They're a cool one.
Are
They're
they
at least-
dangerous?
I would not want to get close.
I probably yeah, I don't know. It didn't say.
I would maybe
anything
not.
Yeah,
about-
tentacles are weird. I just don't want to get wrapped up.
I wouldn't want to be anywhere near any kind of jellyfish.
No.
Period.
Yeah.
At all.
I jumped in a man of war one time.
What?
Yeah, I was jumping off the it was off a dune. It was like this this inlet was coming in from the ocean, and there was a dune that you could jump off and go into the water. And as soon as I jumped, I looked down and I'm heading right toward it. And I jumped
Oh.
right on his head.
Oh my gosh.
Did he
wrapped
do
up in
anything?
yeah. Wrapped up in tentacles. I'm screaming.
Did it hurt?
Yeah, I had to go to the first aid and all that junk. It was bad.
Live to tell the tale.
Yeah. It was
Furious.
it was wet. It looked like somebody took a switch to my legs.
Oh.
It whelped up really bad.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
I bet. Oh, I can imagine.
And the reason they told me it was a man of war because of the size of the. It wasn't a regular jellyfish because it was so huge.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
So
And there's by the time you're midair, you can't do anything.
they're like, hey, I'm in.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Doomsday. Let's go.
I wonder what Clint would have to say about that.
Well,
He'd say, why didn't you catch it?
Clint, right on in. Let us know. Okay, last one before we start getting into like biblical monsters or creatures. The barrel eye fish, aka
Okay.
spookfish.
Sounds
Okay.
spooky.
It is. Google it, Byron. Take a look.
I'm got it right here.
It has bright green, tube-shaped eyeballs, and the top of their head or skull are
weird.
transparent.
And
Their
you
head
can see
is
their
see-through.
brain. Look at that. Wow.
It's usually
That
green.
looks like
yeah,
a
here's green.
scary
It's usually green.
barracuda.
Yes, no, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Wait, whoa. What is that? Look.
Yeah,
That's
its
him.
skull
Oh,
is
let me see.
see-through. So they can see
What is that? It's like a leaf.
the
What is
green,
that?
The green
yeah.
balls. That's their eyes.
What?
Yes.
Hold on. Whoa, there's another.
Okay.
They
From a
can
different
see.
view.
They can use those suckers and see above them. They can also look straight ahead, but they mostly look above them.
Yeah,
for
this
like
is nuts.
shadowy. Isn't
Oh.
that so weird looking?
It looks like a green little butt cheek in their brain.
Yeah, it looks like you're looking at his brain.
Yeah.
Weird. Okay.
It's so bizarre.
And that's the barrel
That's
fish.
crazy.
Yeah. Some
The
of them
barrelfish.
use bioluminescence, but
The,
not all of them
the
do.
spook fish.
Yeah,
I'd
they
be
hang
spooked.
out. They hang out in deeper waters, about 2,000 to 2,600 feet, or 600 to 800 meters. They have large flat fins that help them remain suspended and motionless in the water column, allowing them to precisely maneuver when prey comes around.
Well, that's
They're
good
rarely, listen to this, they're rarely encountered, and the species has only been encountered 9 times as of 2022. Only 9 times has it been documented that this.
Well, maybe
fish
there's
has
not
been
that
seen.
many of them.
Or
I mean, 2,600 feet.
how many times have you seen a goldfish? Way more than that.
I mean, just about every day you go to the pet store. And
That's what I'm
see 'em.
saying.
Yeah.
So 9.
What's your point
I have so many. I have so many questions
about the
when-
9?
No, just about these creatures.
Yeah.
Or like I want to be like, God, what was the
What was
point of
going
them?
on?
Well,
He was probably, I mean, if I could speculate about our Lord and Savior, I would
You
say
can
he was just
speculate.
like, I'm just
look, he's
just making stuff, and it's
Yeah.
like, hey.
listen. He's the master storyteller,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and he's the master creator.
Yeah.
Right.
He's just
Or he's gonna be like,
I mean, I want to
he's
hear.
like, watch this.
I want to hear the
it's like
explanation.
reading this.
What made
reading
you do
this,
that?
you're like, I wouldn't even have thought to create this thing
Like
here.
a clear fish, but give him
'Cause you don't know-
360 eyes.
You know what I'm saying?
And everything has a purpose.
Right.
Like he has created everything for just.
Purpose
It's
and
just
reason.
so interesting to hear how you hear of like random, freaking barnacles. Okay, for example, that
Yeah.
attach themselves to whales and they'll like clean their teeth. There is that right? Are they like
Barnacles?
I've seen where they've
No.
had to clean
Well,
them
I've
off.
No, what are the fish that are barnacles are like the little
Like
I see barnacles
scale
on
thing.
a post on a
barnacles
pier.
are like plaque that get built
Yeah.
up. What is the thing that eats those
oh,
off of whales?
Because I feel like the
plankton.
plankton.
Is it plankton?
Maybe.
Because I've
What's
seen
that
where
other-
barnacles
Now I
have to
gotta
get
look it up.
cleaned
What's
off.
that
of
other
the
fish? They'd what's that other one?
Uh,
Krill.
Maybe.
I don't know.
No, there's something that clings to.
What eats barnacles?
I
off
saw it.
whales?
I saw it in an animated movie one time. Forgot the name of the
Finding
movie.
Nemo?
Some small fish.
No, it was
like
Will Smith
top
was the
smelts.
the voice of the fish. Oh, it was Shark Tales. Did you ever see that movie?
Oh.
They
I don't know if I remember.
they come in. They had barnacles on them. It was like a car wash for whales.
No.
Yeah, dude.
I feel like I saw it once.
they were cleaning all
forever
the
ago.
barnacles off,
Okay, so
and then they would tip them. They're like, "Thanks, Lord." Just keep going.
Okay, barnacles attach themselves to whales, creating a commensal relationship where the barnacles benefit, so they get a free ride and access to food, while the whale is largely unaffected. There's also I hate
See,
to
when you
it.
say barnacle, you act like it's something alive.
I think it is.
Is it?
Yeah.
I
mean,
thought
if
it
it
was
needs
just a
food.
growth of weird shell.
Oh, I think it's like a bacteria kind
Are
of
you
thing.
serious?
Whale lice.
What? No, stop.
Whales also host those, which are
stop.
not true parasites, but
I'm
they
not-
feed on the whale's
I'm not.
skin and damaged tissue. So those are like natural exfoliators for whales.
Ugh.
Okay, so like, give me the barnacles, bro.
But I mean,
I
like,
feel like the barnacles would hurt.
you think about that and you're just like, Lord, what?
Scratching my back, bro.
Like,
Get a little bit to the left. Barnacle.
Ugh.
It's so
I would not
gross,
want barnacles all over me.
but also
It's
fascinating.
fascinating,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I wonder if I think you could probably stay in the water long enough and you would get some barnacles on your leg.
100%.
Yeah.
I feel like, okay, so I feel like we're getting ready to get into Job and some other
you
like
serious?
biblical things. Do you want to read about the Leviathan?
I do because
Because I think that's a good
basically-
one.
I wrote just a little bit about it. I didn't like do deep dives and
You didn't-
find the
okay.
scripture like you did with the others.
I like how you just breezed over the black mussel cracker.
Yeah.
So
Look that up too.
I was,
Look that up too.
I was reading. I was like, okay, how did they put those two together?
They start out as
The
female,
bla-
and
the
then if
black
they have
cracker.
enough space. Well, it's because
I
they
haven't heard
eat
of that.
mussels and stuff.
Well, sure.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Whoa, they turn into males if they've got enough space.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Anyway,
Yep. Those
Wow.
are interesting. Look those up.
I think I'm going to talk about those on my show.
Do it.
Do it.
They're called like the grumpy man of the sea.
No.
No,
What?
Google a picture of him. They're like
Okay,
the
hold
grumpy
on.
old man.
Oh my gosh.
They're the grumpy
Get
old
off
man.
my
of the scene.
lawn!
No, they
Get
really
off
are.
my sandbar.
Because they get like a bulbous nose when they're old. If they
See?
Oh, they do.
That's it. Hey, get off my sandbar.
yeah. for
No,
real.
they really. I cannot even.
Oh, yes.
That was on some like
All
documentary
right, so
show.
hey,
some
we're
nature
pulling
show.
up pictures here for the listeners. So
Yeah.
just pull these up, and you'll
and
see
you're
where
gonna see all.
see why we're going,
all the
"Oh!"
things.
Take notes while you're listening to
Yeah.
this so you can look them up.
Here, Byron, I'm sending that to
If
you
you're
if you
not-
want to use it.
Don't
for
look
your
up the
show.
hagfish. Do not.
Yeah, don't.
Did
do
I
that.
look up
Not-
that already?
Look, you said
you
that,
did.
and somebody's doing it right now.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, the hagfish was so gross. Like that was making my skin crawl.
yeah. Okay, so
All
the
right, let's go.
Leviathan,
Leviathan. Love the Leviathan.
found in a few places. So
Ooh.
this has to tell you that there's. I don't know. Okay, we'll just get into it. In Jewish mythology from the Tanakh, is that right?
The Tanakh. Yeah.
It's referenced in the book of Enoch, and it is also
Yes.
found in the book of Psalms 104, Isaiah 27, and Job. It is a monstrous sea serpent, dragon, snake, crocodile, or
Right.
whale-like creature. It's also a word in Hebrew that can mean to twist, turn, wind, or coil, and can be used to describe something very large and or chaotic. It's used as a symbol it's used to symbolize God's power of creation. But for these purposes, we're going to be talking about it like in a literal
Sense.
Well,
in a
sure.
literal sense.
It's the Kraken.
Yeah, so according to legends, it has the ability to create tsunamis,
Whoa.
needles of water, which I don't even know what that means.
Sound effects by
It was a
Byron.
fireball.
And fireballs, it can shoot hellfire from its mouth. They're immortal and don't age with impenetrable scales.
That's a Kraken.
Sheesh.
So, guys,
You think
If
one's
the-
down there?
I'm
Of course.
thinking there should be, or there's
Do you think
got
it's
to be.
one, or do you think there's multiple? You know, like was
There has to be
one
multiple.
Leviathan was made? If they're that monstrous and huge,
I would venture to guess there's a couple, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe there is just one.
like one just monster.
Hanging
Like
Big
if it's
crocodile.
that big and that.
Serpent, snake. I'll guarantee you there's some watchers tomfoolery going on with this thing.
Go on.
Go on.
Well, before the flood,
Yeah.
the watchers came down and had sex with women.
Right?
They also did hybrids with humans and animals.
Oh, yeah.
You think Leviathan's part human?
Well, I don't know that, but I know that they did some tinkering with God's
They were-
creation.
yeah, they
Oh.
were really
They were
messing
like,
around
you know,
with
messing
stuff.
around stuff. That's where you get all these stories of all these mythological
Like Greek
stories.
gods.
Yeah. The what's those things called?
It's like cross
I think y'all
species.
mentioned one down here earlier. The satyr.
Well, we'll
Isn't
get
that
to that.
half goat, half man, half horse, half man? Have you seen those? You've seen those, right?
Yeah,
and
what's
Harry
the
Potter?
half horse, half man thing called again?
Oh, I don't know.
I thought that was a
A
man.
cantar,
That,
santar,
yes, you're close.
canter.
Something like that.
I just know the
A
one.
banter.
I know Sir Tumnus from.
I think it's spelled C-E-N-T.
That's a satyr, yeah.
C-E-N-T.
Sir Thomas.
Yeah.
From,
Tum- Tumnus.
Oh, I thought it was Thomas.
I think it's Sir Tumnus
You're kidding me. All this time?
from
You talking about
Lion, Witch,
Chronicles?
and the-
yeah,
I'm
Chronicles
pretty
of
sure
Narnia.
it's Sir Tumnus.
Tomness? Please, Meryl, back me up here.
Centaur.
A centaur. Yes.
Centaur.
I like saying centaur.
Well,
Wow.
That's what
I'm
Google
from
says.
Alabama, so.
Sir Mr. Tumnus.
what am I
Are
about?
you kidding me? Why did I always think
Yeah.
he said, I'm Mr. Thomas
Oh, yeah. Thomas.
on the movie? But
Tumnus.
it never clicked that he said Tumnus.
Tumnus?
James McAvee's
Go.
not
Go,
one of his
Maria.
finer moments, I would say. Okay,
So Leviathan, yeah,
Okay.
there's
The
probably still
Leviathan.
hanging around.
I guess like I think when I think of Leviathan, I think of like one massive being
Mm-hmm.
that's gonna like will have some play in the end times kind of thing. Like, but it's like one crazy huge creature.
I wouldn't disagree with that. That's kind of how I've always
Like I've always
envisioned it.
pictured it.
I feel like it's pictured. You've seen Jurassic World.
Yes.
Yeah.
that big thing in the ocean.
Yes.
I feel like that's a very close,
adaptation.
yes, of what a Leviathan looks like.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that.
Because I think, like, and just if you even Google pictures of it, it's like a monster that's beyond anything that we would have ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
Like, per AI.
See, that's what I'm saying. They created it,
interpretation.
and that's where the dinosaurs came from. Tinkering around with DNA, the Watchers. And that's
Or
where
do you
everything
think the
was wiped
dinosaurs
out.
were always there?
No.
They're doing that sort of
No,
stuff.
because they're too, I mean, look at them. According to what we know, they're huge. So they didn't fit with the model of man on the planet.
Right. You know what they're doing stuff like that. Well, I mean, of course they are
Yes.
today.
They're trying to bring the mammoth back.
Yeah,
The woolly mammoth.
I saw they did that. It was either in a mouse or a hamster.
Yeah, it was
and
a
they have like
mouse.
long, like
Yeah.
they're like really like long haired hamsters.
Right. Splicing the genes.
And then who was the guy that got in trouble for? Oh, recently a guy, he got in trouble for breeding 2 different types of sheep and selling.
Why would you get in trouble over
them.
that?
Because
You do it with dogs all the time.
Hold on, let me look at the article.
Are you making fun of my dog?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Isn't yours crossed? Isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 different kinds.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? It's hybrid.
She's
See, we're no different. We're
she's-
just like playing around with stuff. Hey,
Okay.
wouldn't that thing be
she's an
funny if it was a
expensive
poodle?
mutt. Huh?
Wouldn't that thing look funny if it was a poodle?
Okay, this is
Okay, let's get
according
them
to the
together.
Hill.
Leviadoodle.
This is according to the Hill, but a man was sentenced to 6 months in prison for his effort to create giant sheep hybrids.
Okay, so that's
Oh.
different. A giant sheep hybrid.
Oh, it
Sheep
was
are
What
in
are
an
you
effort
doing?
in an effort to create giant sheep hybrid for captive hunting.
Oh.
Uh,
So
two,
captive-
two felony wildlife crimes as part of a nearly decade-long effort to create giant sheep hybrid animals in the U.S. and sell them to hunting facilities.
Oh, okay, so we can hunt them.
Mhm.
Who's hunting sheep?
He had a 215-acre alternative livestock ranch.
What?
He participated in the purchase, sale, and breeding of alternative animals, including mountain sheep and mountain goats.
Okay.
And then, so it was to get higher prices for shooting preserves.
Gotcha.
He was charged with conspiring to violate the Lacey Act and then actually violating it.
Follow the money.
The Lacey Act is intended to combat the illegal trafficking of plants and animals. So
That's
he
after-
didn't declare the import because he
It's after
brought
John
parts of the
Lacey.
largest sheep in the world from Kyrgyzstan to Montana.
Okay.
Well, it reminds me of when you were talking about
The largest males can weigh more than 300 pounds and have
See?
horns that span more than 5 feet.
Oh, okay.
That is
See,
a massive.
okay. So that's what they're hunting those. So
Yeah,
he's creating
just
big
trying to create.
sheep. Yeah.
He's trying to just create
Right.
income for himself.
Yeah.
Gotta
Follow the money.
applaud the ingenuity, but maybe not do that.
Yeah.
oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
What were you saying?
yeah.
Oh, when you were talking about like selling them for market or whatever, it made me think of like, was it Jurassic World where they
Yes,
like have all the
exactly.
dinosaurs? Like
Let's
the,
go in here, get the rich to bid on this.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then they would, they would
Hey, wait,
bring
who
in-
left this cage open?
yeah.
Wait.
What's funny is like there's people doing that in the name of science to try and bring back the woolly mammoth for God knows what
Yeah.
reason.
We
but-
don't need him back.
But that's okay.
No.
But
He
this
was-
guy's going to prison for just a very
Right. See?
creative way
What?
of generating some income for himself.
Right. How come the scientist with the mammoth's not going to jail?
I don't know.
You should.
Maybe they didn't break the Lacey Act.
Because
Because
it's in the name
a
of
lab.
science.
Right.
And
Where's
no one's
Fauci?
hunting it.
By the way.
In
I feel like
trouble,
Fauci's
think.
like some evil
Maybe,
scientist in the background.
maybe in trouble. I know we don't know. Stay tuned for that.
Stay tuned.
Maybe watch.
Stay tuned for.
Let's get to
yeah.
the bottom of that.
Fauci.
Tune into that for more deets.
Ouchie.
Ouchie, Fauci. Why'd you step on my finger?
Okay.
Um,
Maria.
Yeah. Anything else you want to say about Leviathan?
They're big.
They're big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, my questions were just like, do you guys think that
Sure.
there's still one lurking about?
I think there's
And
one lurking about. I don't know if it's like lots, but I think it's
I think-
so massive that
I think at this point in time, since we haven't seen it, it needs that pressure.
Mm-hmm.
What do you mean?
The deep
Yeah, he's got to stay super deep,
pressurized.
Yeah.
It needs
Oh.
that pressure.
Yeah.
Because if it comes up at all, maybe there's a level where the pressure is not enough and it hurts the fish or hurts Mr. Leviathan.
When the clouds part,
Yeah.
might be a different story.
Right.
Well,
the
and
pressure is going to be there for him.
Well, like how you said it says like it can cause tsunamis. I also wonder if like because you don't typically see tsunamis hitting multiple places at one time.
Sure.
I mean, you can, but it makes me curious at
Yeah.
I don't know.
And these
Does
underground
that-
earthquakes, what if one's just, got a little cold and did a little shudder
yeah.
Yeah.
and boom, Bob's your uncle.
Yep.
Then you got an
Mhm.
earthquake and then you got Tokyo getting drowned.
Which is awful.
Yeah.
All right.
Makes you feel very small.
Yeah. Makes me feel like
Makes one feel quite
makes one
small.
feel quite small.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah.
Glad I walk on land.
I hope.
Be
I
real
don't wanna
honest
go
about
with
it.
it.
I don't want to go.
I don't have that adventurous spirit about
Not
me.
to go deep.
I don't want to leave wherever my atmosphere is good to
love-
go.
I love swimming in the ocean.
Have you
but
guys skydived?
No.
No, I don't want to do that either. I don't
I
want to
have
jump
no
off
desire.
mountains. I don't want to go in the ocean.
I parasailed.
I'm not.
That's
did you?
great.
I've parasailed. That's it.
Parasailing is very
That's
nice.
not bad. I mean, you're hooked up to a boat.
Yeah, and then if it snaps, you're just gliding
You're
down.
you're just parachute.
Yeah.
That's not bad.
So-
But yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, the ocean's. I mean, I wasn't created for the ocean.
Neither was I. And
I don't
you know
have
what? I
gills.
respect that. I do not
I wonder
want to
if
go
we
in the
were-
water that's like.
I wonder because
I even get nervous waist deep.
I wonder, because of Hollow Earth. I wonder if humans were even created to be on the surface.
Hollow Earth.
Go on.
Go on.
Think about it. We have 2 legs.
Yeah.
We don't have anything for the environment. Look at
We have lungs.
No, we have. I'm talking about fur.
Like protective.
Oh.
Look at animals that roam the planet. 4 legs. They can match the terrain.
Not those hairless
They've got
cats.
fur. They can handle the environment. We're just out here struggling.
Mm.
We have to find shelter. We have to do all this stuff to help us survive. I just, it makes me think:
But
were
were
we designed to be
made
on the surface?
to have the intelligence to discover how to
Yeah.
fend for ourselves.
Maybe.
And we have like cognitive
But
thought.
But also,
Maybe we climbed up out of Hollow Earth. I
if
don't know.
we had, okay,
and
about
we're so
this?
pale.
how about this? Well, some of us are.
Somehow.
Some of us are.
Yeah. Anyway,
Happy St. Patrick's
Anyway,
Day. man.
Thank you.
that's an
At the time of
afterthought.
this-
Anyway,
At the time of this recording.
go ahead, Meryl. That's an afterthought.
Our Irish friend.
No,
It's just something to
that I
think
would
about.
do, something I would put to you to challenge that would
Okay,
be
push back on
if
that.
human beings were created to survive and thrive in the wild like an animal, right? If
Yeah.
they had all that stuff, what would be the purpose of needing or relying on God for any kind of provision? If we're already equipped with what we need, why would we need him?
That's a good point.
And
So-
I have another.
There's a way to rely on him in that
It's
sense.
a good point. So let's go back to the garden.
And we are formed out of clay.
Let's go back to the garden then.
First of all,
Were they created with all that provision? Did they have to rely on God?
Well, I feel like
yeah, of course,
they
Did
did
they?
from the aspect of they would have to trust that the food would grow.
they were given a set of boundaries.
Correct.
They had the easiest jobs:
Tend the garden.
tend the garden, rule over the land
Yeah.
and the animals,
Eat everything except this one tree. You're good to
Well,
go.
and I would
be
can I
fruitful, multiply.
Let's go.
also to push back maybe as well.
I mean, if the way you break it down, it's like, am I relying on God?
Yeah,
I mean, He's giving me everything. What am I doing?
yeah, exactly.
Well, and I think
And then all of a sudden, snake, Leviathan.
Yeah,
What do you?
yeah.
Anyway, go ahead.
oh no, but I'm
Leviathan
thinking
and
of
beta
That's
like
a great point.
how you're talking about like not having fur, but like humans do have not to get like sciencey or if there's children around, but like
If you're gonna start talking about body hair, we're not talking about that.
well, I'm just drawing that it's in like spots that are supposed to be kept warm.
That's.
You know what I mean?
I,
Not like
I
it's
don't know.
fur.
No,
I think some of those spots are already warm.
Yeah.
it's not to keep.
Is it because of the
warm.
hair?
Or like and to clean bacteria and keep
It's
stuff
to keep things away from
Yeah.
sensitive
areas.
areas.
Hmm.
Yes.
Okay.
To
So I feel like
fight
for
against-
survival.
to fight against infection,
Infection and stuff.
contaminants.
Yeah.
But we're not covering.
Okay,
head to
we're
toe.
gonna talk about
Some of us are covered head to toe, depending on our genetics.
That's true.
Just go
That's true. I saw a
just go to
reel. I don't
Sicily
even
or
know.
something.
If Susan sent me this reel of this dude. He was brushing his body hair and using this like ointment that made it smooth, and it panned back, and he was like like he had a suit on. It looked like, but I was like, is this real or AI? I don't know. Or,
No, there's
are
some
people
very,
out there that hairy?
Hey, there are genetic anomalies. All right.
Yeah.
Okay,
To everything.
I'm not one of them.
Anyways,
Anyway, Behemoth.
we're going to talk about Behemoth now. So
Bring us
Behemoth
back. Bring us back.
is found in Job 40.
Okay.
Job 40, 15 through 24.
I like
It says
Job.
it this. It says,
Right.
look at Behemoth, which I made among you, and which feeds on grass like an ox.
Okay.
What strength it has in its loins, what power in the muscles of its belly. Its tail sways like a cedar, and the sinews of its thighs are close knit. Its bones are tubes of bronze, and its limbs are rods of iron. It
like
ranks,
rods.
like rods of iron.
Yeah.
It ranks first among the works of God, yet its maker can approach it with his sword.
Interesting.
The hills bring it their produce, and all the wild animals play nearby. Under the lotus plant it lies, hidden among the reeds in the marsh. The lotuses conceal it in their shadow. The poplars by streams surround it. A raging river does not alarm it. It is secure, though the Jordan should surge against its mouth. Can anyone capture it by the eyes or trap it and pierce its nose?
What in tarnation
I think
are we
not.
describing?
I think
I
not.
think not. So, from our good friends at gotquestions.org, it says the behemoth is a large animal mentioned in this portion of Job that as God addresses Job. God's description of this animal focuses on its great size, strength, in comparison to Job's smallness and human frailty. Modern language has picked up on this biblical description and used the word behemoth to mean anything of monstrous size or power. The way the behemoth is described in Job 40 gives us the idea that this animal, familiar to Job, was unstoppable, fearless, and a fearless creature. It's impossible to identify what species behemoth is, but we do know this: the behemoth is a plant eater that lives near water.
Okay.
So that's from Job 40:15.
Plants. Got
It is at home even in a flooded raging river. The behemoth is very strong and muscular. In fact, it ranks first among the works of God, and only its creator can master it. The behemoth has a massive tail that sways like a cedar, and hunting the behemoth is futile because it cannot be captured.
Do you know
verse
what
24.
I'm thinking of?
Huh?
A dinosaur. A brontosaurus.
I'm thinking of like a massive hippopotamus or something,
Oh.
like bigger than that,
Well, I'm going to read this.
Yeah, but
and
look
then
at
I'm
their
gonna have
tails.
you
Their tails are small.
but with a big tail.
Well, okay.
I don't know.
I got you
Some kind
there.
of variant
Okay.
of that.
maybe.
Okay, so, well, Fancy, you say this. Some commentators identify the behemoth as a hippopotamus,
Oh.
Okay.
a rhinoceros, or an elephant. However, the description of its cedar-like tail hardly fits the stubby or rope-like tail
But,
of these
you know,
animals.
hybrid.
Right.
Gotcha.
Another theory describes a type of dinosaur, such as a Diplodocus or an Apatosaurus.
Yeah, good one.
Apatosaurus. Such sauropods were the largest of all land animals, 10 times heavier than elephants. They were marsh-loving plant eaters and had tails like trees and could truly be called kings of the animals. The Bible teaches that animals which must have included behemoth were created on the same day as man in Genesis 1 and Job 40, but we don't know when the dinosaurs became extinct, and it's scripturally possible that that some were still around in Job's day, which was sometime between Genesis 11 from the Tower of Babel and Genesis 12, the call of Abraham.
Why do they think that dinosaurs are still around after the flood?
This was just per God question.
Well-
I'm just interested.
Yeah,
I'm interested
curious.
to.
Yeah, we can flesh that out.
So
Keep
it
going,
says,
sorry.
as Job sought to justify himself and demand an answer from God concerning his trouble, God shows up in the whirlwind and speaks directly to Job. In the end, it is God who does the questioning. Brace yourself like a man, and I will question you, and you will answer me. To help Job remember his place in this world, God points him to two of the mightiest creatures. Here we go: the behemoth on land and the Leviathan
Boom.
in the sea. These animals were incredibly powerful and frightening to behold. They were no one's pets except
No.
for God's. The pride and glory of man paled in comparison to the dreadful, untamable strength of the behemoth and the Leviathan. How much more humble is a man in God's presence? And that's the point. Neither Job nor anyone else has the right to criticize God's work.
Let's go.
The one who created Behemoth is worthy of our awe and reverence and worship. Will the one who contended with the Almighty correct him? He's basically asking Job that. Let him who accuses God answer to himself.
Yeah.
So I think type in or look up Behemoth, like what it describes, and it's pretty crazy.
Unlock my phone here.
So
I like the way it says it ranks first among the works of God.
Yeah.
Does that give a timeline, or is it just this is my top 10 animals that I made, this is my list? You see what I'm saying?
Okay,
Yeah.
people are.
There's some just crazy ones out
coming
there.
up with like it looks like a cross between a mammoth,
Yeah.
but also like a gorilla, but it's
Yeah.
got hooves.
So it was an herbivore, right?
Oh, well, I'm
Yeah.
getting like this. There's your hippo with teeth kind of thing.
Oh, wow. The hybrid.
And there's also, I've seen this one a lot too, where it's kind of like a massive like rhino
It kind
looking
of does look like a hippo.
thing. This one's
Oh,
referencing a lot of dinosaurs like the
Oh,
brontosaurus.
yeah. Because it eats plants. It's got a
It hangs out.
tail.
Whoa, this one's nuts. This is kind of what I picture more of.
Okay.
Like if you're going to
Yeah.
say the leviathans of the sea,
And that's the,
I picture this as like the behemoth of the land,
Okay.
which
Dread-
this looks
yeah.
like a massive monster,
dreadful.
dreadful with long tail. And then
Well,
you're
but
hitting up
where
Leviathan.
are
and
The
they
Lord's
getting-
pet.
Oh, look at that. Yes, Godzilla.
like Godzilla the
Oh,
sea.
Godzilla.
So
Um,
anyways, it's just interesting
Answer
to talk
that
about.
question. Let's flesh that out, because I was under the impression we're not sure the timeline that Job was written.
Correct.
Right. So it's all just
They're
assumption.
speculating here that
Job
they say
is
Job's day
after-
was between the Tower of Babel and the Call of Abraham. Nobody really knows that, so that's speculation.
Okay.
So it could have been. This could have been,
pre-flood.
yeah, or it could have been pre the man. It could have been pre Adam. Let's go there.
I feel like that's.
Who Behemoth was pre-Adam?
Are you
Or
saying
Job.
Job's pre-Adam?
Yeah,
No.
creatures were
That's
created
not
before
possible.
Adam. There were other species created before Adam. Adam was just the one that stuck. There was a lot of experiments of creation before Adam. We just don't have record of it, so I can't prove it.
Well, the way that Job is described though is like
Like a full functioning
Yeah, I
society.
know.
yeah, like a couple generations or
Yeah.
at least.
Yeah. It's a good theory, though.
I don't know if that was a joke
It's good.
or
You
if
guys
I
should
like-
listen to Let's Get to the Bottom of that.
It's a good
Test
theory,
this?
though.
If you guys want to get to the bottom of
Um,
It
that.
is interesting to think about.
Right.
But I am curious why they think that the dinosaurs. Why? Well, just the comment of like we don't know.
We don't know when they became extinct, but it's
That is-
possible some remained in his day. That's
Maybe if they're thinking like ones by the sea.
Well, what,
Yeah, I mean,
You know,
the
like
ones
if
that
they're-
swim.
well, there's of course they're saying lots of things: hippopotamus, rhinoceros, elephant, dinosaur. They're just speculating of what
It could
type
be like,
of animal could this be,
or
and
is
they're
it,
like, if it was a dinosaur, when did it show up, and all that. You know,
or is it one of those things that like we don't know what it is, so we're just trying to explain it to the best of what we
well,
know
yeah.
how to
All we got
describe
is
with,
just
if that
all we
makes
have is God describing it.
Yeah.
like I can
It feeds on grass.
like I can tell you
like
what
an ox.
animals that look like that.
Yeah. Here's how strong it is. Here's what it kind of looks like. Obviously it was a real creature because
Right.
he's describing it to Job as
And Job-
something he's seen. He said, "Look at Behemoth,
Right.
Job." I mean,
And he's not phased by it.
look at Behemoth,
Yeah.
the thing I made.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Good luck. All
Why
right.
are you questioning me?
Are you ready for our next one?
Yeah.
This is called the cockatrice.
Easy.
And it says this is a legendary monster.
Sound like a cockatoo.
This is also from our friends at gotquestions.org, and this is a legendary monster, half rooster, half
What?
snake,
See those dang Nephilim.
with the ability to turn people into stone at a glance.
What?
It may not be so well. It
What?
may not so well be known as other mythological beings today,
Sure.
but at the time the King James Version translation was made, the cockatrice was a pervasive myth in Britain. The word cockatrice was used to translate the Hebrew tesfa, which
good
properly means poisonous serpent or viper. In 4 of its 5 occurrences, Isaiah 11:8, 14:29, 59:5, and Jeremiah 8:17, John Wycliffe used cockatrice in his 1382 Bible translation, and the King James Version translators retained the term.
Where have
Okay.
I been?
Okay, listen.
Type in, no. Did you Google what it looks like?
No.
Listen. Listen. Why did y'all choose the word cockatrice?
It was per the internet.
Well, no. I'm saying
Oh, I was like,
cockatrice. Come on. The Hebrew, obviously they know what the Hebrew poisonous serpent or viper.
It's a hybrid of
And
a
y'all
rooster
went with
and a serpent.
cockatrice?
yeah, this.
Yeah,
thing
but
was-
there's no rooster in the Hebrew word meaning at all.
I feel like I've
it's
seen people
serpent
get this
and
tattoo.
viper. Where did y'all get the cockatrice from? Look at that. That looks like
it's
Chanticleer.
just-
Why are you getting such weird images for stuff, and I'm getting more
Well,
like
This one seems kind of accurate. If I had to pick accuracy,
I would fight that thing. Seriously.
but you can't look at it because it's
Wow.
going to turn you into
in
stone.
the stone.
It
Where
does?
did they get that information? That's not in the Bible, right?
I don't think so.
The cockatrice turned and looked at Job, and his family turned to stone.
like Medusa.
Yes.
Well, I mean, we can click on these the scripture references.
Well, let's go to
and read them.
Isaiah. I like
Isaiah
that.
11:8
One of my favorite prophets.
says King James Version. So it says, "And the suckling child shall play on the hole of the asp, and the weaned child shall put his hand on the cockatrice den." Is where it's listed.
See, the whole of the asp. That already means snake right there.
Or the viper.
yeah.
Let's keep saying
That's
viper.
what asp.
Okay.
Everyone else says cobra.
And you got
viper.
cockatrice. Come on, King Jimmy. What are you doing?
This is where it's saying. This is where it's getting interesting because it's King
Come on,
James.
Jim.
I mean, Jimmy, what are
Okay.
y'all doing?
All right, we got a couple more
Okay,
for
where
you.
are we at?
So there's some other. So the thing with this Got Questions article is it's referencing King James Version. So some of these creatures are really interesting, and they're kind of only described in this King James Version. So
I think they were playing loosey goosey with this.
well, so
You know what I'm
the
saying?
King James Version of the English Bible was translated in the early 1600s. While the translation is commendable.
Sorry.
Oh,
I had
it's
to
okay.
click on that.
while the translation is commendable for its overall accuracy and beauty of style, it has a few weaknesses. One is that when translators of the Old Testament came across a Hebrew word of uncertain meaning, they sometimes use an exotic English word to replace it.
Okay.
But where in the English language was cockatrice before?
That I can't
That
answer.
is my
These-
question.
So we've got 2 more.
Let's. That's a good
Hold
point.
on, you're
That-
wanting to blow right past
Wait,
this.
it's
Well,
a good
no,
point.
I-
Those translators,
Give us a second.
those translators were looking out the window, and they were tired.
Yeah.
They'd been there like for hours,
What on
I
earth?
think like
and
a
they ran
rooster's
across that word, seraph, and they were like, "Huh, that rooster looks kind of dangerous out there." Is that a
Hanging out in an
cockatrice?
open
Don't-
den and just like
Aren't-
seeing stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know.
what cock-a-doodle do.
Well, I would
I
hope
mean-
not if they're writing the King James version of the Bible.
Well, things were crazy in the 1600s.
That's true.
All right,
All right.
that's it. That's
16,
it. Hold
18.
on.
Oh,
That's it.
Sayer. I gotta go look this up while you're looking that up.
are you looking that up or what are you?
I'm just looking at the satyr thing in King James.
Oh, I think you're.
The wild beasts and desert shall lie there. Their houses shall be full of doleful creatures, and the owls shall dwell there, and satyrs shall dance there.
That's nuts.
And
okay.
see the other ones go shaggy goats, wild goats. So when you look at
Cockatrice.
cockatrice,
Oh.
I'm cockatrice.
Okay. It's got Latin origins.
Yeah, so all the other ones go with wild goats, shaggy goats. But they kept satyrs there. Okay.
Okay.
Oh, we've already
So-
moved on to satyrs.
Well, yeah,
no,
sure. I
still
mean, I was
stuck
just
on
trying to
the
figure that out.
cockatrice.
I mean, the cockatrice is wild. Where did y'all? Yeah,
Okay. So
those
the
translators, boy.
satyrs is on Isaiah 13:21.
Is it satyrs or satyr? Hold on.
Yeah,
I'm
Meryl's
going
got
with
it.
satyrs.
Hold on.
And Isaiah
Look at
34:14.
that satyr.
Look at that shader right there.
You know that satyr?
That shader over there.
That thing's hairy.
Hold on.
What do you got?
Satyr.
Saturn. None of us were right.
Like Saturn.
Or Saturday.
Yes.
Okay.
Saturn.
Can you click back?
No.
Okay.
Go.
So in Isaiah 13:21 and 34:14, the King James Version and the RSV, which I don't know what RSV is. Not the
Virus.
disease, but or
Not a virus.
But translate the Hebrew seir as satir. The Hebrew word is translated 55 times in the
Satyr.
Satyr. Sorry, my bad. The Hebrew word is translated 55 times in the King James Version as he-goat or hairy. However, the word was also thought to imply demon worship associated with goats, and so
See?
we find the word translated devil twice in satyr in
Satyr.
In the aforementioned verses. However,
Aforementioned.
that one.
Yep.
However,
I like it.
based on the context of each passage in Isaiah, it's almost certain that the wild goats are intended by the Hebrew seir, not the goat man created creature of legend.
Right.
And certainly not the fawn of classical
Yeah.
myth.
Not Mr. Thompson.
Tumnus.
Tomness.
Do you want to hear
Tumnus.
about them in Greek and Roman mythology?
Yes.
Yes.
Satyrs are animalistic, lustful, and drunken nature spirits associated with fertility.
Yes.
Whoa.
They're depicted as short kings,
Short kings.
half man, half goat, or horse creatures with horns, tails, and long furry ears. In Greek art, they have a horse's ears and tail, but in Roman art, they have goat's ears, tail, legs, and horns.
See,
Satyrs are companions of the gods
Saturnus.
Dionysus and Pan, representing nature's
yes,
vital
Pan,
powers.
yes. Okay, I already
Pan is
know.
in Pan's Labyrinth?
Right, Pan's Labyrinth.
Ooh.
Or as in
that's why.
bread.
Listen, I already know what's going on here.
All right, tell us.
These translators
We're so-
already were influenced by Greek mythology.
Clearly.
100%.
So when they saw he goat, that clearly means a male goat, not a man goat. Come on. You know what I'm saying? So they already, so the
A
Greek
male
mythology,
goat.
they were like, they're probably talking about a satyr. I mean, a satyr.
It's a hybrid.
Yeah, the hybrid. Yeah, maybe it was. The dang Nephilims.
Yeah, we just
An,
don't know.
an E animal. Not instead of like
well,
an E vehicle.
I'm just saying, huh?
I said an E animal instead of like an E vehicle.
Right.
The hybrid.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyways.
It's a full animal.
All right. And
Or
then
satyrs.
our last but not least,
Unicorns.
unicorns. Believe it or not, Hebrew word.
Revised Standard Version.
What do
by
you?
the way.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
thank you.
RSV.
I
That's
thought
what
it.
it
Yeah,
is. That makes sense.
and you said that's a drug too, right?
No, I said virus. Well, I said
Oh, it is?
disease, but it's a virus.
Okay.
Yeah, it is also a
Also a
virus.
virus. But unicorns is our last one.
Okay.
So
Lord,
this
we
is
are
where it
all
gets.
over the place.
We are all over the place. So this Hebrew word re'im signifies a horned animal similar to the arok. You looked it
A
up.
rock.
A rock.
A rock.
A rock.
rock. A now extinct ancestor of today's domestic cattle.
Okay.
For some unknown reason, the translators of the King James Version chose to substitute unicorn for the name of this horned animal every time it occurred in Deuteronomy 33:17, Psalm 22:21, and Isaiah 34:7. The Bible in its original languages, though, never actually mentions unicorns.
All right.
right,
I
what-
might as well hit Isaiah again.
What in tarnation
So
are the translators of the King Jimmy version doing?
Well,
Because I looked up an auroch.
Yeah.
Auroch, whatever it is. It looks like a yak. Like it's a long-haired.
yeah.
Yes, I knew you
Yeah,
were going to do
read
that.
him.
Sorry, I had to.
Yeah.
like a yak.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like cattle.
Yeah.
It's
Click
like
on the
a-
Psalm
What
22:21.
if?
I'm
What
curious
if?
at
What
that
if
one.
this? What if this, for example, when they wrote down the English word unicorn, because granted, we just did a podcast on the King James version.
Mm-hmm.
Is it accurate?
Mm.
On let's get to the bottom of that. And the reason King James is outdated today is because in 1611 when they spoke words, they mean different words than we speak today. So when they were saying unicorn, maybe it means something different when they were speaking it in 1611 than it does today.
Than it does now.
I'm just saying that's one of the things that's going on here. You said Psalms?
Yeah, I'm just curious. In King James, save me from the lion's mouth,
Yeah.
for thou hast heard me from the horns of the unicorns. From King James.
I feel like that sounded like a unicorn horn.
Then even just flip it to New King James. That Psalm 22:1. It says, "Save me from the lion's mouth and from the horns of the wild oxen," which feels like it makes more sense.
Right.
Wild oxen pops off on multiple ones.
It's cattle.
All right.
King James.
So
And your translators.
mysteries solved.
We did solve a couple.
We did solve a couple today.
I think we did. We got to the bottom of that. Bold women.
Bold
Look at
women.
us.
Look at us.
The bold women get to the
bottom
bottom of it.
Bold women.
Maybe
again.
we need to take over an
crossing
episode.
the plains.
Oh yeah.
of
Do you want us to take over an episode
unicorns and satyrs? Huh?
of?
We should do a collab.
Yeah, why not?
Why not? We can get to the bottom of something.
Yeah, seriously. And then we do, because we have hit some very heavy
Heavy.
It was
Christian
real heavy.
biblical topics here in the past couple of weeks. So.
Ooh.
Some real heavy pink.
Heavy. I got nothing for you.
I don't have anything else.
Welcome to the
Welcome
unicorns.
to
the behemoths and satyrs.
Glad we figured out all I have to say is
Yeah.
I'm glad some of this stuff is not chilling around the earth today.
Well, and I'm not going in the
we
water.
don't know that.
I mean, not the underwater ones, but the land ones that we know of.
That's
You guys should let us know if we are missing any creatures that we should be talking
That's
about.
true.
Because we can always
And-
throw them in the next.
Yeah.
The next.
We have a part 7.
Yeah, put comments, but leave some comments of how goofy some of these creatures were.
Right.
No fooling.
And
Yeah,
then
let us know
don't-
what you guys think of them.
Don't
Yeah.
Google the worm thing with teeth. It's
Not
going to
the
make you
hagfish,
vomit.
not
I'm
the
telling you, every time you
hagfish.
say that, they start
So gross.
Just throwing it out there.
Googling.
All right,
All right.
gang.
Bye.
See ya.